Hey you, yeah you, would you like to see a build? A really flashy build that uses a lot of really strong uniques? Well, I've got the build for you. Yeah, come closer. No, even close. That's a wall. Back up a little bit. Come a little bit closer. That's right, this build, so good you have to play it zoomed in all the way. You can get the full effect of what's happening. You don't even need to use two hands, just one hand is enough. This is Path of Exile's final form. I was told on Reddit that I had to show 30 seconds of gameplay before actually talking about the build. Otherwise, the average player will lose interest in what I'm doing. Are we there yet? I think we've done it. Hey guys, how's it going on? I'm Matt Lighty, and this is a video about the ultimate Abyss build, my ultimate Abyss build in Abyss League. It's something I had planned, and it's been done before. Essentially, it is a build utilizing every Abyss unique and as many Abyss jewels as possible. Alkaiser did a pretty great job on that, so if you like what you see in this video, watch this video. It's the same thing, but pretty much a little tankier because he's in hardcore. So the build is pretty straightforward. Because of the nature of Abyss Leagues, it's going to be Abyss jewels. It's an Ellie attack build. So I chose Scion because it gets me the most access to the most jewels as possible. At the moment I'm running, I think, 18 Abyss jewels in total, and a lot of them are in the gear. The only jewels I'm running that aren't Abyss jewels are Lionized Fall, which is converting my melee shit into bow shit. Pretty much just the claw nodes for that. A lot of crit, a lot of multi, and a lot of fat fucking leech, so that's great. I'm a bow build. I'm Wind Ripper, Ellie Attack, went over that before, but I'm using Tornado Shot because it feels the best for me, I think. So I'm sitting at like 40k GMP Tornado Shot, and that number is actually, it's off. It's not right because some things don't represent my actual damage. For example, this says 40k. Take out Mirage Archer, it still pretty much says 40k. Mirage Archer, what it does is it makes a clone on top of my head that attacks things as well. It's a mirage of an archer. So that's doing a ton of damage as well. Maybe, well, it's 6% less attack speed, but it's pretty much mimicking what I'm doing. So that could be like 15k DPS right there, but it's way overkill. And this also doesn't count the fact that my chest, one of the Abyss uniques we're going to be going over, Shroud of the Lightless, gives me level 20 Ellie Pen, which isn't actually a gem in the game, but what it is like 8% elemental penetration, and penetration isn't also represented on your tooltip. So, oh, what the fuck is this button? I've never actually pushed this before. K? I don't know what that was. So like Ellie Pen, for example, like the 5% there, or like Wise Oak or whatever else Ellie Pen you'd have, doesn't actually show up on your tooltip. And the other thing I have, that's not an Abyss jewel, is Watcher's Eye. Watcher's Eyes are really cool. They have different combinations, and it gives you different things based off of you being affected by auras. So this one gives me 11% fizz taken as lightning. So I take less fizz damage pretty much. And between the fact that I'm running a Topaz, I got a nice little 82% lightning res. So it does mitigate some physical damage, which is kind of spooky for me at times. And then another 14% Ellie Pen, or Lightning Pen. A lot of my damage is lightning though, pretty much the largest chunk of it. The other uniques I'm running, Biscos, because Biscos, Tomb Fist, it gives me attack speed, sockets, and it gives me Maim and Intimidate on hit. So I do this by doing two different jewels, Murderous and Searching. There's the Searching, and there's the Murderous. This one isn't great, but it has enough stuff. Belt is just double jewels, a little bit more effect, more jewels. The boots pretty much just used for the movement speed and the jewels. They're okay. It's the weakest of all the Abyss socks, like by far in my opinion. Deathwalk is like DD things around, but I don't think it's particularly good. Shroud of Lightless is insane. It gives me 2 more sockets and does this AoE kind of Nova of fizz damage that pierces and does a lot. It's a lot of fucking damage. Quiver is an additional arrow with another additional arrow, and it's multi-set Shaper Quiver. Got a Shaper Ring, Assassin's Mark on hit, just a lot of Ellie damage. Other ring is just life, Ellie damage, res, and you know, just accuracy, a little bit low in accuracy. My actual chance to hit is not amazing, it's 91. It's a little bit on the low side. I'd like to get 93, 94 if possible. My res is, I'm very much res capped. That leaves a lot to my Purity of Elements. Wind Ripper is just a, Ellie attack bow. And my, flasks or whatever, they could be better, but it's just, Dying Sun's the big one. Gives me a lot more projectiles. See, that's basically the build entirety. I mean, I'm pretty much just doing, I have no single target setup. All I need is a TS, and it's good enough to go. Obviously, I have a lot of less sockets than I normally would have because a lot of my sockets are occupied by, well, Abyss sockets. So I don't have the luxury of having as much as I'd want in here. I'll do a Shape Vault. That's pretty much all I run on this account. The reason I do Shape Vault is because I got it set up at the moment so my vault bounces between Shaper Elder, Shaper Elder, Shaper Elder just infinitely. And as far as mapping, I pretty much just toss the sexton on these three. I don't block, I don't do anything fancy. I just like running with a sexton every now and then, so that's what I do. Shapevault being a tier 14, I don't have like much of a problem running tier 14s. Gotta go back on my endgame filter. No, that's default filter. Alright, so there's the Mirage Archer, the little green guy on my head. But it's a pretty fun build. We are Deadeye Assassin for Ascendant. This just gives us a little bit more AoE with an extra arrow. A little bit more crit and multi. And that's about it. Nothing too crazy or fancy. You can see the build's kind of all over the place. You don't have to really look at what you're attacking because it's such a ridiculous spray of shit coming out. And then Val Haste just for that supplemental attack speed and move speed. It just feels really good, and it's basically a one-button build, so it's nice. A lot of the Abyss Jewels and Abyss Uniques they're all just like automated. I don't have to click anything. Even the Shade form from Shad Lightless, all it does is just give me Fizz immunity every now and then. And honestly, it has a pretty decent health pool. I mean, you could for sure get, 5.5. You have to see the single target here. Again, this is a tier 14 boss. And I feel a little bit squishy at times, but overall, safety-wise, Eddie Shaper touched. Safety-wise, I feel pretty safe most of the time, you know? I mean, I can get one shot, sure. My defenses are quite okay. That's gonna kill me, probably. I don't know how much that hits, actually. So I have point blank from the tree, so it does help my single target a little bit, but even then, it wasn't that big of an issue. The great thing about TS and Mirage Archer is because all it says is this, you just have to hit something for Mirage Archer to start. So you could just kind of TS down like an alley, and it'll just, one of those arrows will clip something every 4 seconds, and it'll just start taking off on its own. And yeah, your Mirage Archer does enough damage to pretty much take care of business itself. You'll see if I get a nice point blank rare, you'll see how fast they do melts. So there's a rare. Yeah, they're dead within a second pretty much. Sometimes even faster if a lot of our damage is lightning, so if it does scale high, it could just chunk something down. You have to be careful with proc shield is one of the things that will get you killed, because with abyss mobs, when proc shield spawns, it'll actually be active before the animation finishes of it spawning. You won't actually get a chance to look at the proc shield, and you'll just be attacking something. You'll be like, why am I not doing damage? And then, oh, it's proc shield, I didn't know. It is a little bit annoying with the boots, because every now and then when you're walking by, you'll just hear explosions, and it freaks you out, but it will protect you from detonate dead at least. All those explosions and you walking around is my boots blowing stuff up. Blowing up bodies. It's a bit maddening, honestly. If I could turn off the sound of it, I would. Often you see a 6-link Winter occupied by fucking Enlighten and Wrath and Ice Golem and all this other weird shit. Well, this build's using it. So I mentioned Alcazar earlier, and he runs in his setup Ice Shot instead of TS. A very, very similar build. I mean, they're all going to be pretty much the fucking same. And you can swap out any bow skill you like. If you like Split Arrow, if you like Lightning Arrow, if you like Ice Shot better, go for it. They all pretty much are the same thing, so scaling-wise and application-wise, it's going to be very similar. In Vault, don't forget to break all the pots. You never know when a card might pop out. Point blank damage. Every now and then he can just like auto you for a lot because he's a heavy melee boss, but even then it's pretty easy to do. And there's the Vault back. You have returned to Shaper. And we'll go back to Elder after do this. It extends out, but it actually retracts right back in. I make like 0 forward progress in my Elder Shaper pool. And you'd be thinking, normally when you have a build that revolves around, uniques that are in the league, you really can't recreate it again. And it is no surprise to anyone, I guess it is to some, Abyss is being added to the core game, similar to how Breach was, so 10% chance to spawn in maps, kind of something like that. They're upping the Lich and Breach or depth spawn rate to kind of keep all the shit in line. So you'll be able to get these uniques in League. They'll probably be pretty fucking expensive, some of them. And even if they don't tone down how the jewels scale, and Light Poacher just got a buff, which is an interesting thing. It can't pierce, but it could chain Fork, so I'm just going to replace Fizz Lighting with Fork. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. But anyway, that's essentially the build. It's pretty fun, pretty straightforward. You just hold down right click, it's built like a bow tree, getting all the Abyss, jewels and sockets and all that jazz. Level 90, so I'm performing pretty fine. Just running the same shape vaults over and over again. It's not only like I'm doing with easy mods. They're pretty challenging mods, damage, twinned, res, all that type of stuff. But you shouldn't really have issue doing Breach, shouldn't have issue doing Abyss. Your life pool, even 5k, should feel pretty okay. The gear is expensive to get, a lot of it. But you don't really need a 6-link Wind Ripper. You can have a 0-link Wind Ripper. You can have a Linus fall and make your boat build Fizz to Ellie. You can use a Drill Neck for this. You don't have to have a Bisco. You don't have to have a Curse on Hit. You can have a Curse on Hit and Herald of Ice if you wanted. So there's things to make it. You could tone it down a little bit. But this is the this is my ultimate Abyss League, Abyssy build full of Abyssness. So I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions or comments or concerns or anything, hit me up on Snapchat. I'm at Lighty, and I'll see you guys later.